Mrs. Banbury here at the high school. I am the digital arts teacher and I teach beginning photography, intermediate photography, and beginning videography. So just a little bit about beginning photography. It is an introductory course to photography. So we do kind of all the basics. We cover the basics. We talk about the elements of art and how they're used in photography. We then talk about different photo techniques that you can use to improve your photographs. We get into the history of photography, so we talk about all these old cameras here, as well as different photographers in the past. You'll do a research project over an artist of your choice, and eventually you'll do a project where you make pictures like theirs. So this is an interesting artist that they chose, Ralph Meatyard. He's a popular one. And then we also do a light project. So again, introductory to photography, so we talk about lighting in photographs and how they can impact your photograph. We also get into this little fun project with the history of photography unit where you make these cyanotypes. So it kind of shows you the process of how a photograph would be developed in a dark room, which means if it were a film photograph versus digital photography, which is what we primarily use today. Like I said, it's an introductory course, but you do learn a lot of interesting things. With every project, you will be editing your photographs in Adobe Photoshop. So we learn a lot of basic introductory skills to photo editing with Adobe Photoshop, and then you apply those skills to your own photographs. Moving on, next we go to intermediate photography. So once you've taken beginning photography, then you can sign up to take intermediate photography. Intermediate photography is where we get to have a little bit more fun, get a little bit more creative with our photographs. We learn about commercial photography, so product photography, and how they use photography to help market products out there. We also get into portraiture in this class. You can see some student examples here. This one in particular we then took and did what are called double exposures. So that is where you combine two pictures together. So we combined they combined a picture of fire with this portrait here that they took of Aaron. We also do image transfers, so this is kind of a fun project that people like to do. Basically, we take an image that you took and we transfer it onto canvas or wood, onto a canvas or wood surface. So that's kind of a fun project that people like to do. And ultimately, like I said, you get to be a little bit more creative, get a little bit more artsy, really kind of develop a style and a taste for what your photographs are going to be. And this is a project that we do towards the end of the semester where you pick a social issue to talk about, and it's all based off of a song that speaks to that social issue. So you get to play around a little bit more with Photoshop and get a little bit more creative with it beyond just your simple edits, brightening a photo, removing things from the background, things like that. The last class that I'm going to talk to you about is beginning videography, and that class is all about video. So movies, video editing, screenwriting, scripting, things like that. We start off with some simple, editing skills in Adobe Premiere, which is the program that you would edit your videos in. And essentially we get into screenwriting, so writing, your own storylines in your films. We get into some, kind of like in beginning photography, some camera angles, basic camera angles and shooting techniques. You'll script and write your own little kind of short movie and film that and edit it and put it all together into the final product. We get into green screen, so you get the chance to kind of throw yourself, or someone else into a clip of a video or some place where you might not normally be. So that's kind of a fun project. And overall, we look at the Oscar nominees, so that's kind of a fun time of the year, is getting to see, who the award winners are and things like that. So videography gives you a chance to learn about movie making and just, rather than still images, moving pictures. Okay. So once again, I am Mrs. Banbury, and that just kind of summarizes beginning photography, intermediate photography, and beginning videography here at the high school.